Hi, I'm Kurt, and I'm with Travers Tool Company. When you're turning something in your lathe, what method do you use to get your tool height dead center on your spindle? So most people line the cutter up to their tailstock, but there is a better way. And Edge Technology came up with these three tools that do a terrific job at that. So I'm going to explain each one, show you what the differences are, and show you an important step on how to calibrate it to your lathe. The first thing you're going to need to do with these lathe gauges is to calibrate them, which means to get the bubble right in the center of the vial. So when you do calibrate them, make sure that the lip of the tool that rests on the tool post, or not the tool post, on the cutter, or will be resting on the cutter, is facing you, not facing away from you. So this will be the position that you'll need to calibrate this one in. Here's another one. You can see the flat right on the bottom here. So that will be the position you calibrate that one in. And on the bigger one, there's the flat down here. So that's how you'll hold that to calibrate the bubble. To get it calibrated, just loosen the screw, turn that vial a little bit, just tilt it until that bubble is in the center, and tighten the screw back up again. Pretty simple. For this first one I'm going to try, I'm taking the little bar that's included with it and chucking it, taking one of the little rubber rings off, sliding the gauge on, putting that ring back on there. I suppose they're not really necessary, but I'm going to use it anyway. Moving my cutter in just a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm resting the lathe gauge right on the very point of the cutter. So I need for that bubble to be exactly centered in the vial. So I'm going to loosen my quick change tool post. I already have my nut and lock nut a little bit loose here. And sometimes when you tighten the tool post, that bubble moves, and it didn't that time. So I'm going to tighten that down, and I'll secure that with a wrench in a second. But first I'm going to show how the other ones work. Here's the other one. This is the CNC lathe gauge. The reason it's called that is because not only it has the lip that's resting on my insert right now, it also has another lip back here that's pointing upward. And the purpose for that one is for some CNC turning centers, the cutting tool is back here and it's mounted upside down. So that will come to rest right on the underneath side, which is really the top of the cutter. But that's where you want it to be centered for a CNC. So I have it right on the tip of my tool post, or of my cutter, loosening the quick change tool post, getting it centered. I already had it pretty close to center, but anyway, so there we go. And that's that one. The Speedy lathe gauge is only going to work if you have a piece of bar stock already in there, and you push, there's a V along the back of it, and you push that up against your bar stock, and you have to hold it very carefully to make sure it doesn't get tilted or uneven. It has to stay even, so, and flat right up against the bar stock. So then I'm going to bring my cutter in, and now kind of hold on to the gauge so that it stays flat against the bar stock, and it pushes down against the cutter, and there it is. So now I have to hold that with one hand while I'm adjusting the tool height with the other hand. So once I get myself coordinated, it's really not too bad. So that's about it. And then just tighten things up and we're good to go. So there they are. They're all pretty basic. Once you calibrate them, you know it's going to be true. Different gauges for different purposes. Of course, the CNC lathe gauge is not for me. I don't have a CNC lathe. I have no purpose for the lip that faces upward because I don't mount my tools upside down like you would in some turning centers. For the sake of the demonstration, I kind of like the PROL lathe gauge better because it's so easily just rested right on the top of the tool. So that was much easier than the Speedy lathe gauge. However, what if you've been doing some machining on your workpiece and you put a different tool in and you want to center the height of your tool and you don't want to take your workpiece out of the chuck? Maybe it won't go in exactly the same way again. So the solution for that, because you'll need to take it out of the chuck to get this little piece in there. Okay, so the solution for that is the Speedy gauge, because you hold it right up against your workpiece, as you saw, and the little lip just rested right on the cutter. So I kind of like both of these. If I had a CNC, I'd lean in that direction, but I don't see myself getting that for this little shop I have in my basement. So I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that you learned a new way to center your tool height to your spindle and save you a little bit of time. So I've done it, I'll confess, I've done it the old school way for so many years, just putting something in the tailstock, some kind of a center, lining up the height to that just by eye or facing off a workpiece, and just centering the height of my tool to the workpiece. What happens if you have no center? If it's a tube or a pipe or something like that, you can't exactly do it that way. So I think these are a huge benefit. I like them, so I think you will too. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned, see what's coming up next.